Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. Yeah, in the previous video we talked about that ideally in this current B wave we should go a little lower. We've seen that today it did reset the B wave, so we weren't quite sure in the previous video if this is a triangle or if we get a clearer three-wave move in circle wave B before price comes down in wave C of wave B in this wave 2 correction. Yeah. If you missed previous videos, we're currently focusing here on the yellow wave count. That's our primary scenario where we say a larger degree wave 2 topped on the 18th of September, formed 5 waves to the downside, which is basically the wave 1 of wave 3. Yeah. And we're basically now waiting for the price to ideally play out this inverse head and shoulders pattern for a bit of a rally in a wave 2. As I said to you yesterday, this is likely going to take maybe a couple of days or so, maybe a little longer for this wave 2 to play out. It is likely that ETH is now, like Bitcoin, working on its B wave before it then rallies in a C wave. And suggested to you earlier today in my first video that ETH might be forming here an inverse head and shoulders where they had a left shoulder, the head, yeah, and the right shoulder, and a breakout above the neckline of $1,600 could take the price into the resistance area. And this resistance area is between 1618 and 1648. And ideally in this wave 2, so the C wave of wave 2 should start here at some point. Ideally ETH stays below 1648. That would allow us, let's say, to stay in the flow, because anything above that will likely disrupt this wave count. We may have to make some adjustments. It could be that this wave 2 gets reset, yeah, and then we will have to look at the $1,700 level again. So as long as the price overall stays below $1,700, I'm going to look for further downside. That's the main pivot. That's the main pivot of this analysis. Within this, obviously, there are different ways how the yellow wave count could play out. As I said, could be that this wave 2 gets reset. This was just a larger A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. Yeah. But overall, until I have further evidence that anything has to change, I remain focused on my micro wave count here as well, which so far has guided us really well. The previous resistances did all hold. And now we are watching if the 1648 level is holding as well. But first of all, micro support needs to be holding, and that's at the moment at least not unrealistic. So the price seems to be coming down after this A wave to the upside. It seems to be coming down in a B wave. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. Again, it's just a quick middle of the day update because not too much happened. So yeah, look, nice 3 waves down in wave A. 3 waves up in wave B. This was a flat pattern, so 3 down, 3 up, and now probably 5 waves down. Looks like an ending diagonal in the C wave. Could get a few more squiggles here to the downside. And ideally, it stays above 1572 in this B wave. We can also take the Fibonacci extension levels and see if we get any confluence with other levels. So one way to calculate the target for a C wave in an expanded flat structure is to take the length of the small A wave, then we go to the high of the B wave, and we would typically be looking for the 1.618 extension for a C wave, and that's at 1578. That is very close to the 1578 level, which is the 61.8 retracement. So we have a confluence there between extensions and retracements. Okay, so I'll be watching that area. It can turn around earlier, to be honest. Could have 5 waves down already, but it's just a very small time frame. So I think it should ideally go a little lower, but you know, it's done what it needs to do. Important is that the C wave goes below the low of the A wave to have a reliable 3-wave structure, and then maybe add a bit of a trend line here. When that trend line breaks, it's actually looking a little bit like a wedge pattern. When that breaks to the upside, we might have a small breakout to the upside and then a first test of the 1600 level. And above that, could get into the resistance area between 1618 and 1648. Yeah, that's my update about ETH. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.